We're here in Canary Wharf. SAI Global have been at the Gartner Security and Risk Management Summit for the last 2 days. We've been having conversations with clients and potential clients about integrated risk management, and we thought it was the perfect opportunity to get some time with Rob Van Straten, who leads SAI Global across EMEA and Asia Pac. We're looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. Hi Rob, thanks for your time. Let's talk time to value on implementing software solutions.
That's a great topic, Lee. So, in essence, there are two ways of implementing software. What I call the more traditional way, which is, companies that want to buy a software solution, define their requirements. Then they send out an RFP, then they enter into demonstrations, sometimes proof of concepts. And what they do is they validate if the software of a vendor such as ourselves can match these requirements. But that's not the same as the scope of the implementation. That's the capabilities of the software. Yeah. So then we need to agree what we will configure. And that can't be all, or that's almost never all that's been required as capabilities of the software. That would be too complex in most cases as well. So you enter into a scoping, the scoping creates a statement of work and a budget, and that's then what we agree that we will configure on the capabilities of the software.
Right, okay.
Then you go into a design phase. So we go into design workshops with our customers, we agree on the design is signed off, then we configure it, and then we go to testing, and then we roll it out to the audience that's going to use the software. That's a traditional way of implementing software. A better way, in our opinion, is that we skip a few steps, that we still answer the RFPs
of course.
And show the capabilities of our software, but then the scope of the implementation is a configuration that we already created.
Right, okay.
And we create that based on best practices. Those best practices are derived from standards or from our knowledge of our consultants of years of experience. So whether it's risk management, compliance, internal audit, GDPR, policy management, whatever use case, environmental health and safety modules, we have out-of-the-box pre-configured solutions available, and those solutions we demonstrate. And then we ask our prospective customers what it is that they want to change on these pre-configured best practice based solutions. And then, and that's okay, it's still configuration, we can change it, but we don't start with a blank sheet of paper.
No, of course.
We start with a best practice solution. It's often appreciated because people want to stay close to best practices. Maybe they even want to change some of their processes to get closer to the best practices. And then during the demonstration, we identify the number of days required by making changes to that configuration, 8 days, 6 days, 4 days, on top of the activation and installation of the software. And then we offer that for a fixed fee, which is less than half or sometimes less than half of the traditional implementation costs. And more importantly, or even importantly, it requires less effort on the customer side. So time to value, reducing implementation times from 6 months, 8 months to 6 weeks, that's really time to value.
Absolutely, very valuable for the people that will be involved at the client side. You may have already answered this, but is it applicable to all projects?
No, it's not. And that's what we have to analyze together with our customers, because if the customer wants to deviate substantially from what we've configured as the best practices, then that's okay, because we still can configure based on the capabilities of the software, customer requirements, and take that as the starting point of the implementation. So what we've seen so far is that about 50 to 60% of the projects can be based on best practices, And the other projects are more complex, or the requirements of customers are more specific to their situation, and then we still go into a waterfall, as we call that approach. But the difference is that when we implement in the more traditional way, we added a prototyping element to it. So rather than going in the design phase, sign off the design, we configure it, and then we show the software. We show the software on a daily basis as we progress in the design phase. So we mix a little bit of both, and that's also time to value, because customers don't see the configuration only after 3 months after the start of the project, but on a daily basis they can see how we build up the configuration, and that's highly appreciated by our customers as well.
It sounds like a great approach, and I was just wanting to check, is it industry agnostic?
No, it's not, but most processes are generic enough to have one set, but operational risk for a bank is much different than operational risk for a retailer.
Of course,
so there are industry variations on those best practices.
Thank you, Rob. That really sounds like time to value. We've learned a lot from our conversation with Rob today, and we've also learned a lot from our conversations with our clients and potential clients. I hope you have too, and thank you for joining us.